What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a Sunday evening at POV. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? It is the crew. We are back, and we're here to discuss some Schmoedown, and we have quite a show planned tonight. Lot of things to discuss. Somehow, we ended up with 3 guests tonight, and we're going to be talking to them for the first about 45 minutes to an hour, kind of picking their brains a little bit. Very cool, though, because obviously, one of our new favorites on the channel is Mr. The King Khan himself. We'll give him a few minutes, and then we'll have the rookie sensation Thomas Harper, if you will, who got his first victory this week in the Schmoedown. And we'll finish off with talking some FCL with Tom Chatalbash. We're going to preview his match. He has a match coming up on Tuesday, and we'll be talking to him about FCL and all that stuff a little bit later on in the show. But crew, how's everybody doing? Everybody have a good weekend? Sunday, wrapping up the weekend. Everything good?
I'm live.
We're alive. We made it.
We did it.
I need another 2 days.
Don't we all? Don't we all? I even left work early on Friday, and I was like, I need more. I need more days.
I've seriously considered being like, I think I might be sick for the next 2 days. So, yeah, we'll see.
I'm getting my second shot tomorrow, so I might actually be sick for the next 2 days.
No, you're gonna be sick Tuesday.
Second dose club.
Watch, you're gonna be totally fine. You're gonna be the only one of us that's just gonna be totally fine.
I don't know. The first shot made me feel awful, so I feel like the second one's probably gonna make me feel even worse.
I feel like it's either it's really bad the first one or the second one is kind of what I've been seeing with people.
I mean, we'll see tomorrow.
Stop showing off your Twilight Championship ring. I saw you do that.
I have it sitting here on my desk, and I have to remember to put it on to show it off.
Because it's so cool. It's so cool.
What about you, Mr. Berlin?
Look at him in his new setup.
It was a wild, not a wild weekend, but I was nonstop running all over the place. So my dad's best friend is moving out from his house, and I got designated to help him. I was kicked out of work early on Friday to go move some chemicals from his house, like spray paint and stuff, because you have to dispose of them properly. And then yesterday, we helped with a couch, we helped with furniture, and then today...
Tom did that yesterday, too.
Yeah, and then today I found out that the sprinkler system in my front yard is all jacked up, and so we dug up my lawn. So... Yeah, that was fun. That was fun, too. So it's been quite a weekend over here at the Berlin household. So,
did Kylo help dig?
I mean, he stared at us and was like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?
He's probably like, I'm supposed to be the one that's digging, no you guys.
Yeah, and he sticks his face in the mud, and it's just like a disaster. And it's,
did he do barrel rolls?
No barrel. He doesn't. For some reason, he doesn't do barrel rolls on our own lawn. If he goes somewhere else, though, he'll do a barrel roll. So. He
does this thing where he like dances around a muddy-ish or cold spot, sticks his nose in it, and then just flops.
He's got to make sure it's safe, and then he's like, I'm in.
Absolutely. Yeah. But yes, we have some really, really cool things to talk about tonight, guys. I mentioned our guests, and we'll be previewing the free-for-all after we talk to our guest. I don't know if we'll go through every single faction, but maybe we'll drop some of our favorite players we want to see compete, maybe some surprises we could see, stuff like that, maybe a winner. But with that said, let's just go and get to our first guest, because he is someone who's been popping up a lot recently. Obviously, probably the biggest name that nobody knew about in the draft when it came time in February or early January or late January, whatever it was.
When was it? What day is it?
Yeah, exactly. And he's been a regular here on the channel that we love seeing around. So let's just go and bring him in and talk to him a little bit. And that is the King himself.
Mr. The King. Yay!
What's up?
Oh, not much. Before you keep going, Jill, you're welcome for the fantasy points.
Thank you. I was going to say thank you for
and Molly, I would say I'm sorry for taking a point away from the dungeon, but we're trying to win the faction title. That's all.
Yeah. That's
sorry, not sorry.
You can apologize for taking a point from my fantasy team.
That wasn't personal. That's just
that's okay.
It's just business, Brian. It's just business.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back for the second time. I don't know if anybody knew previously, but after you were drafted, you actually jumped on for about 15, 20 minutes after the draft.
Yeah.
And now you're this big mysterious sensation, if you will, with the FinSock exchange and part of this dossier and part of this rookie class that they have. Obviously, we saw that you got in your first ever competition, you got a victory in a TKO fashion. We just got to simply ask here, how does it feel to officially be competing in the Schmoedown and get your first dub?
I mean, it might sound cliche, but it's a dream come true because I've been watching for 5 years now, since Campy and Merle was, I think, the first match I watched. So, and I've wanted to compete like pretty much ever since then. So finally getting in, having the exchange believe in me, and getting a TKO to boot was quite the start for me. So, and I hope they just continue that success going forward.
Yeah.
Were
what a way
there
to
any-
enter.
Oh, go ahead, Molly. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what a way to enter the game.
Yeah. Starting off against a famous YouTuber, no pressure.
I mean, were there any nerves for you? Like going, I mean, because I imagine you've been a longtime fan, so it must have been pretty surreal stepping into a room with Christian and Mark and then playing the actual game itself.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was more nervous when I was on your show the first time because that was the weekend when I got drafted. My legs were shaking during the entire day. And actually, like filming the match, I was surprised to find out that I wasn't as nervous as when I heard I got drafted. Because like once you're in the comfort zone, once you're answering movie trivia questions, which is what I love doing, all the nerves just kind of go away from me. So it was much less frightening than I anticipated.
That's good. That's good. Jill, you've been the one who's been most vocal about the King.
I have.
Do you have anything for the King?
Yes, you can blame Craig for that because Craig was the one who was like, "You need to hear about this con guy," and I was like, "Please tell me more. Tell me more about your faction and your crazy picks that you had for this draft." This guy is amazing, and I was like, "I'm intrigued." So I did my research, and you're an OC guy, so like. Obviously, I'm going to love you for that. I love my fellow Orange County peeps, so cheers to that.
Yeah.
So you said that so clearly you love movie trivia. So other than the Schmoedown, do you like frequent like bar trivia? Were you in the fan leagues? Do you do trivia elsewhere? How did you get this love for movie trivia?
I would like to say I did all those things, but no.
No. Oh, okay.
I just I've always had a love of movies. I started my own blog around the same time I started watching the Schmoedown. I haven't kept up with it as much, but yeah, I would write about movies whenever I got the chance. I would just take online quizzes personally just to see how good I was, and playing along with the Schmoedown made me realize how good my recall is for this sort of thing. So when Christian put out the call for anyone to audition, I was like, yeah, I'll do it, and just on a whim. And I was about to give up hope when the Barbarian Tech emailed me back, and the rest is history. Yes, I'm 26.
I was gonna say he is definitely over 21. I know that for a fact.
That's the running joke. Yeah.
Yep, I know. We were talking about that. We were like, wait, who was I talking to? But I don't remember. They were like, he's like 17, right? I'm like, no, he's not 17.
I mean, I constantly get confused for still being in high school. So it's both a compliment and a curse.
It's one of those things that you would like embrace it now because like when you get older, it's like they're gonna think you're younger. So I was like, oh, thanks. Like,
exactly.
Thank you.
Enjoy while it lasts.
Exactly. But that's crazy to me how you came in this so confident and you had never done any sort of like in-person trivia before. That's so kudos. Like, and now you have this like awesome freaking name, Mr. King Khan. Like that's, I love it. I'm obviously because I call you Mr. the King all the time because it's like my favorite thing ever. So kudos to you and congrats on your win on your on your TKO. So welcome to the league.
Fourth one for the exchange.
There you go.
This is true.
The exchange, man. Yeah. The exchange is definitely
all right.
Hi, Robert. The other fellow younger than younger than you are.
Real quick, Brian, I'm going to go to you next, but I do want to read a quick super chat that did come in from Tim Sim. Huge week ahead and the return of the free-for-all. Big name matches throughout the week, and I'll be previewing the free-for-all on Insight with a special guest tomorrow. Molly needs top free agent priority picks in fantasy, I'm guessing, he says. That's the way it's working. If she so chooses, it's bottom to top. That's essentially
I'm in the negative. Yay!
You're like the quirky mercs from earlier, yeah.
she's the quirky merc right now. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. So do you have anything for the king?
Yeah, so I want to know from the second your name was called till, let's say now, what was the first point where you were like, holy crap, I'm actually in this and doing this? A part of the Schmoedown.
I think it's when I found out from the group that my first opponent was Flickinger, because I was like, wait, that's who you're putting me up against as my first test?
Thanks.
Like even in hindsight, like he wasn't, let's be honest, he wasn't really ready for the game. But like I don't go into the match with that kind of mentality. I have to go in expecting to answer a 5-pointer with any opponent. So, but like that moment initially finding out that it was Flickinger was the moment where like, wow, I'm actually in the Schmoedown and I'm actually competing. So yeah.
That's so cool. Were you nervous at all when you heard his name though?
Like, a little bit. And then as soon as I found out, I told Barbarian, I was like, I'm gonna go to his channel and like, do some research. Like watch his live streams, watch any past reviews just to see if I can get any advantage. So,
See,
yeah.
that's the danger of having.
reconnaissance.
Yeah, that's the danger of having a YouTube channel. Because it's like, ooh, what are you watching? Let me just go to your YouTube page and see what you're looking at, so I can. It's smart.
In the end, it didn't matter though, because
No, you got. I mean,
Clearly.
nope.
The king is cocky. The king is has
The king is a little bit.
I don't even know if
he's a
it's
little
cocky.
sassy.
that's
as
just, I
much
think
as
the
it's
competition just brings that out of me.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I don't even know if it's
I'm not saying
cocky.
it's a
It
bad
might just be
thing. Look,
confidence.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Cocky is confident. Like that's
Yeah.
you're a confident player, and it clearly showed. And you're clearly on the right faction for it. So kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. Molly, you got anything for him?
Yeah. What has been, other than being drafted, what's been like the biggest surprise and the biggest letdown of your experience in the Schmoedown so far?
Ooh. I don't think there's been
That's
any.
a good question.
I guess the only letdown is sometimes I'll go into the Facebook group or Twitter and see some negative comments. But you know,
Just
like,
don't
you know,
go.
that's
Just don't go
expected.
into Reddit. Just don't go
Welcome
into
to
the
the
Reddit
club.
group.
I've peeked at
tell-
Reddit and never again.
No.
So yeah, that's probably the only letdown. I think the biggest surprise is how invested our entire faction is. We go from 1 down to 12. We're all in. We don't have anyone like Flickinger, who's probably never met the rest of their faction. Yeah,
I cannot confirm or deny.
But yeah, it's like all of us have at least attended multiple study sessions, and you know we're all in on trying to win the faction title. So that's
Awesome.
been the biggest surprise, because I didn't think we drafted some pretty big names. I didn't think they'd all be in, but they are. So that's good.
That's something interesting. So I want to ask, you know, obviously in Schmoedown universe, you're probably going to say, oh yeah, of course. But when you saw what the exchange was doing in the draft, were you surprised by some of the names that they had picked up? And are you also surprised at how well they're doing? Or was it kind of like a no-brainer decision in your mind?
I mean, initially when I saw like once they had drafted like the 3rd rookie in a row, I was like, what are they doing? And I was like, but as soon as I met all of them for the first time, I saw how good they are at trivia, how big their personalities are. I was like, well, this is a guaranteed win, because you know Barbarian absolutely did his homework. Dossier for anyone playing along to the drinking game. And
Cheers, Dossier.
yeah, and once I met all of my faction mates, I knew that was the perfect draft strategy. It's not just draft people that everyone else recognizes. It's drafting people who both have great personality and have great trivia skills. And so the exchange has that in spades.
That's fair.
I mean, it makes sense because, and that's the thing, when drafting rookies, I'm going to say 95% of the rookies, especially in the FinSoc exchange, they were people who auditioned to be in the Schmoedown. So they're obviously going to be passionate about it, and they're going to be as completely involved as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, playing it that way, drafting all rookies is not, and you guys are proving, was not a bad roll of the dice for Mr. Tom Dagnino. So it's paying off. It's showing that, you know, when you are passionate about what you're doing, it's gonna the dossier. I mean, yep. Put it
Or
on a
as
shirt.
Kaiser calls it, the do-si-do.
It does.
Those two.
I mean, as Barbarian said, we're building future stars. We're not necessarily getting established stars. We're building the future stars of the league.
Yeah.
And so, like, if our base knowledge is already really high, then just imagine where we could be towards the end of the season. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Okay.
go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
I was just say, so are you do you think you're enjoying it more having like just the three? I mean, you have three pretty big established people.
Yeah.
So do you think you're enjoying having just the three and then kind of everyone else is just building their own path? Do you think you're enjoying that more than just coming on like a mix of like Molly's where it's just a mix of everything?
Yeah, I'd say it's really good to have the three and they're the ones, they bought into the draft strategy from the beginning. And then, so the rest of us are just hungry to learn from them. And then, they love to learn from us. It's like a nice working relationship. So yeah, I think the three we have, Roka, Barbarian, JT, is really solid. And then the rest of us, are following in their footsteps essentially. So it's really good.
I love it. I dig it. Like the more I see the exchange compete, and then the more that I meet the exchange competitors and see how outstanding you guys are doing, and then the crazy personalities you guys have on that faction, I'm getting with it with the Finstock exchange. I was definitely a doubter at the draft, but y'all are proving a lot of people wrong, and it's so fun.
It's not so much you were a doubter as everyone was going, what the hell are they doing?
It was
We're
everyone.
keeping those receipts. We're keeping those receipts of everyone who doubted us.
Yep.
Fair.
We'll remember when we're on top at the end.
Yeah, you're proving people wrong. So
That's
kudos
fair.
to you guys.
Molly's like, you keep thinking that.
So I want to ask, we know that you're a longtime fan and you've been watching for a while. How does it feel to be on a Schmoedown or a team, a faction, talking with someone like Roka, talking with someone like JT, who have obviously been around for ages from the very beginning? They bring obviously a certain amount of knowledge of the game and history.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like a starstruck thing, or have you kind of gotten past that a little bit?
At the beginning, it was a little starstruck thing, but I've traded barbs with Roka during some of our trading sessions. I've scrimmaged against him, and I'm not afraid to talk back to him, just like in the heat of competition.
I love it.
So
Yes.
Nice.
because I'm even in our scrimmages, I'm trying to win just to prove that I'm really good, even against our captain Roka. So it's not that big of a hurdle now. So
Now I need to see Con versus Roka.
well, unless we're competing for the title, you'll never see it.
Aw.
I mean,
So that is private.
I don't know.
Singles tournament.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is there's always a possibility with the tournament if it does line up. If you are in the singles tournament, and if Roka is in the singles tournament, and paths cross, I mean, there is that possibility.
Sure. And I'll be ready because I've played him before already. So, yeah.
There you go.
I won't say who won and who lost.
Ooh.
But,
Ooh.
Kamali, did you have something?
I was going to just ask if you were interested in any of the other divisions.
I think I mentioned the last time I was here that I could fill in for IG if the exchange needed me. We already have 3 solid IG players in Barbarian, Taylor, and Mark the Moose Haas. But if you somehow need a 4th, I'm willing to step in and at least hang with some IG competitors. But right now, I think the focus is mainly singles and teams.
I was going to say, and I'm assuming teams as well, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not revealing my teammate either, but
Oh, dang.
I was like,
I was like,
it's not gonna get it.
scooping?
so yeah, that teammate.
Hashtag scoops.
Yeah.
Hashtag scoops.
Have you already even thought about nicknames?
For the team,
Yeah, for the team.
not confirming or denying.
No. We tried.
You'll just have to wait and see.
Well, speaking of other players in matches and stuff, so we obviously have to ask: is there someone that you may have in mind that you would like to face? And is it a rookie or a vet? Do you want to step your game up and see what you have, or maybe play a rookie who kind of got off to a hot start? Is there someone in mind?
I mean, I think I'd like to just go and play veterans now, but the best bet is probably playing another rookie who won their first match. And as the Tyrant pointed out last week, the only rookies who've won so far that aren't on our faction are Peggy and Frankie Alvarez. So I'll play either of them. I'll play the guy who answered "I am Robot." I'll play the guy. I'll play Peggy who got 4 points in the first round. You know, I'll play them.
Peggy's in the chat. She's gonna come after you.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
I'll play either of you or any other rookie who wins their first match. I'll play you, and I'll win.
Ooh.
So
Ooh,
Ah,
already coming in with the
Coming in hot.
I like
Well,
the cojones.
I know. Peggy's in the chat. Get him, Peggy. Get him, Peggy.
I have to know the one thing I would love to know is when Flickinger missed the Anchorman milk question. Were you just like, come on?
I'm a
'Cause
little
that's
bit,
biased.
but you know, like sometimes the way that question was phrased, like not like giving two supporting actors, I don't really blame them for missing because you know it's not. The question writers are very smart about not giving, like not saying, oh, it's starring Will Ferrell, and then telling you that it's Anchorman. So I'm not going to blame him too much, but yeah, he probably should have gotten that and his 5-pointer, which was pretty easy.
Fair.
Wow.
What did you think of the questions themselves? Like, were you surprised at the difficulty, whether or not easy or hard?
I think they were
For
pretty
you, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. They were pretty standard from what I'd seen of other rookie matches. There were some tough ones thrown in, like I missed a perfect round literally because I wrote the sequel to National Lampoon's Vacation instead of
So did I.
National Lampoon's
Yes,
Vacation.
so did Jake.
One word from a perfect round. And then, yeah, I think some of my Matt and Ben ones, it took me a little while to get there. But, you know, I think it's pretty par. I think as I keep going, the questions will get harder. All right, Peggy.
Yeah.
The questions will get harder, and I'll be ready to answer those as well.
Fair.
I will. This is a good point too. I wanted to bring this up quickly. Very well done navigating this category. We don't see it a lot. We don't see a
No.
Matt and Ben slice quite a bit.
Mhm.
And I mean, you did very, very well. I know you're not going to reveal it, but is that something that do you like Ben Affleck, Matt Damon movies?
I mean, I think the general consensus is that those two are pretty like a lot of their filmography is more recent, so like it's not as it's easier to remember those films, but people may forget that there's some deeper cuts in there, and you saw it in my match, like the bounce question. I would not have known that if I had not studied Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, or the stuck on you question. I would not have known what establishment they were running if I hadn't studied. So like, there's a good mix of more surface level and then deeper stuff, even in Matt and Ben. So
Yeah, that slice was all over the place. I thought I
Yeah.
knew Matt and Ben movies, and I was like, I don't, apparently.
Daredevil? Can we get a Daredevil?
Right?
somewhere?
Yeah.
oh boy.
I mean, to be honest, that wheel in general,
That was
For
a
me, I
wacky
was like-
wheel.
huh, okay, well, I'm going to try to get 1 point. somewhere.
To be honest, I felt pretty good about taking any slice on the wheel. So I think when I spun the first time, I'm not trying to chase a strength, because if I land the first time on something that I'm pretty good at, I'm just going to take it and not risk opponent's choice or people learning a weakness. So I felt pretty good enough about Matt and Ben that I just took it, and it worked out.
There
That's
you
a good
go.
point.
It
That's a good
definitely did.
I don't remember, but last time you were on the show, did we ask you our POV question?
You did, yes.
Okay. All right.
Would you like me to repeat it? Or
Has anything changed?
Let's.
Yeah, has it
I mean, it
changed?
might have changed. Who knows? What is your go-to movie snack and favorite candy?
I'll just say my answers haven't changed, but my go-to candy is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Classic.
Yeah. I think I told the story that when I was younger, me and my mom, every time she would go grocery shopping with me and we saw Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, we had to fight the urge not to get it every single time. we love it that much. And I think movie theater snack, I said an icy, specifically the blue
That's right.
raspberry icy.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. I
Nice.
remember.
And I haven't been to a theater since the last time I was on the show, so it hasn't changed.
Well, hopefully
Fair
soon.
Hopefully, soon.
Hopefully.
Exactly.
Fair
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, all right, Mr. Khan. Well, thank you so much for stopping by for a little bit, and congratulations on your first win. Great way to enter the league. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be keeping an eye on you soon, and I know that we'll definitely be seeing you soon, whether it's a single match or singles tournament. We're excited to see what comes next, man.
Yeah, so am I. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, I
Have a good night.
expect you to get me more points, Mr. the King. I
plan to deliver.
Thank you.
Later, man.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh,
I love
I
the
need to-
subtle cockiness from him.
I love it. I love it. I love all these exchange people. Like
It reminds me a lot of when Alex does interviews and he just like blurts things out that may sound cocky to other people, but to him it's just like, it's the truth. What do you want me to say?
It's good. It works. It totally works. So
I need to go grab a drink with him. He is local to me, and I need to meet Mr. the King.
I mean,
Pick his brain a little bit.
if you're gonna have the King as a nickname, you gotta have a little bit of sass, right? You can't just
Yeah.
do this like.
of course.
You can't just be like, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet
Yeah.
you. You're gonna do great." Like, no, you're gonna
Yeah.
be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take you all on, and I'm gonna cross you off my list." Like, no,
I feel like the only thing he's missing is I don't even know if they still do these, but at Burger King, you used to be able to get the cardboard
the little
Oh my god.
Crown.
You get some kind of a crown.
that might be too much, but for
I
the
don't know.
Gunstock
Shannon
Exchange,
might-
I don't know.
Shannon might not be very thrilled if she sees that
Yeah.
come on screen.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
Crown.
Yeah.
It'd be crown wars between the two of them.
Either way, he's making a name for himself. Or thank you again, Mr. the King, for joining us. But let's just keep the train moving, guys. We do have our second guest here. His name's been thrown around quite a bit. He was obviously a very high draft pick in the world of Star Wars, and he got his first win this week. So let's go ahead and bring him on, the Major himself, Mr. Thomas Harper.
Woohoo!
Hello
Welcome
there.
back.
Hey, everybody. Thanks
Welcome
for
back.
having
Welcome
me.
back. Of course. Glad to have you back. This is like the third time now, I think, we've had you on.
You know,
No.
I should
Is
just
it?
start etching like Ray, just tick marks on the inside of my wall here. My basement's all torn up at this point, so I could, nobody's going to notice if there are a bunch of random tick marks anywhere. So, yeah. We'll get
Oh
it
yeah,
started.
how's the recovery going from the flooding?
It's good. It looks like I made the joke that it looks like the floor was repaired by Dr. Evazan. It's like just random carpets that we had when we moved in just to lay because the backyard was all muddy. And so we had to move stuff into the basement and just kind of laid carpet down inside. These like cheap carpets from like Ollie's. Now that's the floor. So and a little bit of the mud still there. So it's like a nice little memory. But yeah, it's stuff's still out of place. But it's you can't tell from here, which is good.
Oh, goodness.
No Y-wings were damaged in the process, right?
No, thank God. Unless there was a Y-wing in one of the comic books that got destroyed.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I'll take that given everything else made it through. So
Good.
small loss.
That's
fair.
good.
I'd
Oh,
be devastated.
Well, we'll go ahead and start with the simple question here. Obviously, it's been a big lead up. It's been a long time coming. You finally got your first match. How does it feel to play a different style of trivia, all movies, and how does it feel to get the first win?
It was quite frankly, I don't remember much of the recording. Like I don't remember much at all of the. I didn't remember much of the match as soon as the match was over. I couldn't tell you questions that were asked, except maybe one or two. I couldn't tell you I thought maybe I'd remember some of the jokes and the banter. It was like that scene in Billy Madison where he just like blacks out and gives
Just
his
watched
answer.
it like 3 days ago.
That was my Schmoedown experience, and I guess it was different. It was very different in a number of ways from Dragon Con. First and foremost, because there you just start with 10 people, and so they're just at least at the start. And Molly knows this well. There's just this huge gap between questions that are asked. You get yours, and you're like, well, let me just listen to all the other questions that I know until I get mine that I will struggle with.
Yeah.
And this is just like it just happened so fast. I felt like going into it, I thought it would be this long drawn out process. And it was, I blinked my eyes. I felt like we were in round 3 and it was over. So, and a lot of it, I have to give Whit a lot of credit beyond just the insane performance that he put on display. He was just a great person to play against. He relieved stress. I mean, we cut a promo before we ever went into the match together, and he's just a class act all the way around. And going into the match against somebody like that kind of helped my blood pressure, which was nice.
That's nice. That makes sense. With that, I mean, Adam's just a joy. He is so much fun.
We
And he's
love
so
Adam
good.
Witt.
He is so good.
Did you get to hear any of his stories of how he knows a Star Wars trivia question? Because he tells the greatest stories, and I can listen to him literally talk about Star Wars all day long. It's the best.
I know. He's one of those few people that I would like willingly just sit cross-legged at his feet and just be like, okay, just go. He's got these tales of like all these Star Wars cards that he has. He's like, I'm an adult with Star Wars cards, and I was like, I'm an adult with a lot of different Star Wars cards, a lot of other toys too. But I want to see the card, like not for strategy's sake or like stealing info, but I just want to see this thing that has like erupted from him and been created, because to hear him tell it's really refreshing, because he goes from his first match where his approach was very different than it is now. It was like, we'll just see what I know, what I can pull off the top of my head. And even that was impressive. Yeah, just like that lives in his brain somewhere. And then now to see where he's at now, but he still has that same mentality of, hey, we're just answering Star Wars questions for fun. And I really appreciate that outlook on the game.
It's so fun, but also kind of frustrating when we do study sessions with him, he has a story for every question. And I'm happy to hear it, but I'm like, we gotta get through these movies, Adam.
2 hours, you get 5 questions. Well,
but it's the best. It's literally the best.
We did A round 2. That's a good night.
Molly, I will let you start this one because you are the resident Star Wars competitor here on POV. You got anything for Thomas?
Well, I will say your round 2 Empire questions had 2 of maybe the hardest Star Wars questions that I've seen in a match in a while. Like the 3T8 and the Linux questions. Like those were, in my opinion, harder than most of the ones that Alex and Demolata got in their match, but I'm sure you had no issues recalling that stuff. Were you surprised or let down at the difficulty of the questions asked?
I thought it was really well balanced overall. I like getting tested, and Lennox is a good example. That's a name that I think the character is just, if it's even credited, is just like Imperial Officer or something like that. And so just like a lot of material now, it got a name. I think it was first named in the customizable card game from the 90s that I was obsessed with, but then it fell back out of canon. And then at some point, one of these authors picked it back up, and so it's canon again. So he's back to being Lennox again. And it's like weird stuff like that I knew as a kid and then went out of my brain because I'm like, no, it's not canon now, forget it. But no, it is canon now. So, I appreciated the questions because I felt like it let me stretch my legs and test myself. At the same time, that first question out of the gate was like, all right, well, I'm not going to get any softballs here. My round 2 is going to be just a gut punch after a gut punch. And, we'll see what I can remember.
Yeah, I felt the same kind of hesitancy that I think that you probably felt with that one, because quotes are just like, oh, you could be one word off and get it wrong, and I know you're probably beating yourself up about going multiple choice on that one, but you still killed it.
I mean, my outlook was I had a bit of a cushion that ultimately it's going to be irrelevant either way. My goal was to not give up a point and just be sure. And that scene is ridiculous. Like that whole scene is just ridiculous anyhow, because there's just so much dialogue between Yoda and Luke. And you've got the added twist that everything Yoda says, the syntax is all scrambled. So your brain's like, thank you for that.
Yeah.
When that word comes on screen, I don't even know if Mark Hamill uttered that word, because when you watch that scene, it's like it's almost like the dark side from the cave is speaking. That's the thing that's vocalizing, and it's said in a millisecond. in between as the camera cuts from Luke to Yoda, and that's just where the Schmoedown is right now, at least in the Star Wars division. So I expect more questions like that. But yeah, that was a fun one to kind of mull over and take my time on. But it got me to sort of test my knowledge of the rules of the game and really take my time on a question. And I think it helped slow my heart rate down for the rest of the round, which helped me focus, which was a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, I'm going to go to you next, but I got to bring up this comment from Zach because it's just amazing. Would you say Wit was your first catch?
Wit almost caught me. It's like pull me off the boat and drag me around. So,
Brian, you got anything?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Dragon Con's a different monster than Schmoedown. And so, how was it actually doing your first match and actually having like a manager where they're kind of coaching you and helping you through it compared to Dragon Con where it's you and nobody else but yourself?
Yeah, Kate was great. I think Kate was, we had not played a match together where, like, not that we simulate anything where she's managing like a simulated training session, because I think that would be a little odd. But I think she was finding her footing. I really liked the dynamic that we had. That was all her and just kind of playing off her lead. But I had fun doing it, and that's what really matters. I'd like to think that it came off well, and it gives us something to build on. But she said what I needed to hear. I liked her bit about don't hang the banner, like the mission accomplished banner, and I kind of gulped a little bit, and I was like, well, let's not just fall flat on my face in round 3. But it is very different from Dragon Con, and I think that one of the biggest things is that normally it takes a little while to whittle down to one-on-one. Here it's just like the Wild West, where you're just up against another gunslinger, and that's it. And the added twist to that is Dragon Con is sort of a game where there's a little bit more breathing room. Like you go back and watch the recording on Alex and Molly's channel of this past year, we all miss questions. Alex misses questions, I miss questions, Molly misses questions, but it's about surviving and advancing. And there's a little bit more wiggle room to operate there. And you really just have to survive to the next round. Like that's always my mental calculus going in there. The Schmoedown, it was like, I don't know what to think. A 3-point lead, like, does that feel good? I've watched enough matches to know that that's kind of irrelevant when round 3 comes around, but I didn't have any kind of like comfort level at any point in that match. So, that's just something I'll have to get used to.
I got to ask quickly, and Jill, I'll go to you next. I'm just going to real quick. Was it hard not to bust out in laughter when she said "at ease, soldier"?
It was like something out of a USO show or something like that. Yeah, but
that's why we love Kate. That's why.
What you saw from me in terms of the focus and stuff. That's just me. Like Molly's seen this year after year. I just sort of slip into a mode when I'm answering these questions. So I appreciate her bringing that sort of anchor to keep me level and doing that sort of thing. Because I think it would be really easy for me to just get lost in that stuff and forget that there's also an entertainment part. Like nobody wants to see me just like stone-faced for 3 rounds just answering questions like a robot. So I'm glad that she's there to help back me up on that.
Well, yeah, we've seen that plenty of times, and we definitely like this version. So
I mean, that's basically how Alex started playing the game. So don't worry.
I know Molly, I think, even said afterwards, she's like, "You think he's playing a character? That's just how he is during trivia. Just don't."
Laser focused. Yeah.
Jill, you got anything?
Yeah, I just have a fun, just Star Wars question, not even really relevant to trivia, but as someone who just watched the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars again last night, which it's my second favorite thing in all of Star Wars, or those last 4 episodes. Other than the movies, what is your favorite thing in Star Wars? Is it one of the series? Is it a comic? Is it a video game? What's one of your favorite pieces of Star Wars that is not one of the films?
Anything with a Y wing in it. No. I have to stay on brand a little bit. I tell you, I really enjoyed Resistance, but in all the animated stuff, but Rebels has to take the cake for me. And I am a huge Clone Wars fan, so that like to pick a favorite, you're talking about like a photo finish between a bunch of different horses. But Rebels, it was like you could see that they had a plan in place, and it just built so beautifully. And I remember watching, spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen the show, but when Kanan dies, and I was just, I was like, why are my eyes sweating? Like, what's happening here? And to have and Clone Wars has done that for me as well, but to have an animated show do that, and the performances from the actors and whatnot was just, I hope they replicate that again and again. They certainly did in season 7 of the Clone Wars, but that show I could just rewatch endlessly, and it just is always that good.
Yeah. How stoked are you for Bad Batch?
I'm really stoked. I'm doing like a special Legal Geeks podcast focused just on that. Like, I'm a huge, you can't see behind me, but like I am a clone shill. I've just, Hasbro puts out anything clone related, and most people roll their eyes. They're like, another thing that they're recycling. But I'm like, where is it on the shelves? Let me buy it. Give it to me. I'm ready to go.
This has been asked a few times in the chat, and I gotta bring it up, but I want to ask about the whiteboard, because the whiteboard has been made as a big thing this past week ever since your match debuted. Is it just to help you kind of keep on track, or is there a method to the madness behind it?
I was disappointed. I thought people would like talk about the patches that were on the back, and I would say I did a version of the whiteboard. I decorated it and for because there is no better term. And Marissa, my wife, was like, "That sucks. Like this looks like crap." Like, Evelyn,
don't you love that? Don't you love it when you work so hard on something and then your significant other is like, "That's trash. That's terrible."
Well, now that she gave me help, she was like, Evelyn, our toddler, could have done a better job on that. Like, she was like, the stickers are crooked. Like, there's no paint on it. And so, anyways, but nobody cared about it. People were just like, why is he holding his whiteboard through the rest of the game? And I'm like, part of it is that I'd be like Ricky Bobby without it. Like, I don't know what do I do with my hands?
Yeah. Yes.
But the other part is it helps me sort of categorize and keep stuff straight in my head. So, I don't mind, sharing this bit behind the curtain. The first thing I do, and it's probably pretty obvious, is write down the movie as soon as it's uttered, and that just kind of helps my brain stay in that mode. So if they say it's Empire Strikes Back, my mind's not wandering off to the Clone Wars or something like that. I also was just drawing pictures of Wit, with horns and bad mustache.
No, not horns. That man is an angel.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, I'm a visual guy. I'm a visual learner. I have like doodles and stuff from years and years of Dragon Con, where some of the time it's just me like just keeping my brain active with something that's not even related, but it just keeps the wheels churning. And other times it literally helps me to work through and process to get from point A to the answer. So,
Well, we talked about it during our reaction that it's been happening for years now with Paul Oyama. Paul Oyama's been using the whiteboard a lot, but it's never actually been talked about until you started doing it, and it was kind of like front and center. It seems like a very good way. I know a lot of people are talking about that. It's like, I mean, right here, Andy said it's just a good idea.
Yeah, it's not against the rule. There's no rule that says you can't use your whiteboard the entirety of the match. Like, there's no rule against it.
And I'm happy to flip it around. I mean, if ever there were, I think Frankie Numbers was talking about, some, in my opinion, far-fetched scenario on their show where somebody might have information on their whiteboard, like pre-written or something like that. I'm happy to flip it around if ever.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, if I'm playing it against somebody, know that I've got your answer on my whiteboard. So as soon as the opportunity comes for me to steal it, I'm just going to flip it around and be like, I had this the whole time. So, I think that's there as well. And if I ever get the chance to play, a 3-way or a 4-way, something like that, that's necessary because you're whiteboarding it during that part anyhow, just in case.
Absolutely.
Frank's always being a little ish starter.
Oh, Frankie. Oh, Frankie.
I wish I had sort of the force powers to be able to predict anything that would be helpful for round 2.
You're writing it in invisible ink. You've got all the answers on your whiteboard, all that stuff.
Like, oh, I just happened to write Captain Lennox down, and there it is. Wow.
What do you know?
My midi-chlorian count must be high.
Yeah.
Well, I have to bring something up that I'm surprised hasn't gotten brought up before. Colonel Carrots.
The greatest
think
thing
they
ever
heard me.
First of all, genius. Second of all, when did you come up with that? And thank you for that gift.
I wanted to refer to everybody by some sort of rank, and I couldn't resist the alliteration there. And I love Mark, but I'm not going to call him by his name in that sense. And his comment about like that sounds like more of an admiral name. Like, no, you're stuck. You're stuck as the colonel. And I don't know if you said Brian Ward did a hilarious.
Oh yeah. So good. So good.
Perfect.
He is so quick with the Photoshop on that stuff.
So
Yeah.
quick.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Well, that'll lead me into my another one. Is what'd you think of your Brian Ward picture you got?
I fell out of my seat. I don't deserve it. That I think that the average person probably waits forever to finally get photoshopped by Brian. So to get not just done like that, but to be put into a Y-wing, albeit one that gets obliterated at the Death Star. That was just amazing. I may have it as my my background on my phone. And my favorite folder on my phone is like, lots of pictures of my daughters and me and my wife, and then like me as a Y-wing pilot.
Hey, it's fair.
Go.
That's fair. That is very
Yep.
fair. Well, so you do have quite a quick turnaround. You have a match coming up against Mr. Eric Whiteley.
Yes.
For the Corky Mercs in the Star Wars tournament. We don't have an exact date as to when it's going to be happening, but it's happening here in just a few weeks.
Yeah.
How are you preparing for it? Are you feeling good going into this match? Is it a little bit of a different preparation compared to Adam? Just how's the just leading into the match going?
Yeah, I almost wish I had missed the question, because now there's like the hype, not controlling your own hype, because it's one thing if you come on to shows and do interviews, and you're whether you're playing a character or not, you're calling people out, or you're saying, hey, I'm going to wreck you, I'm going to take you off my list, this and that and the other. And then you've got to deal with that hype that you've created for yourself. It's another thing entirely to have the narrative out of your control and then have another rock added to that pile, which, that right or wrong, that the match did that. And so I've got to deal with that. I want to thank your faction mate, Molly, for probably lighting a fire in Whiteley and his entire fan base that I'm going to have to have a big bucket of water to put that one out, because they were fired up during that match. I think Kaiser was his head was being called for. People were calling for him to be banned from the league, stuff like that. But anytime you face somebody coming off of a loss, especially a squeaker like that match was, they're always dangerous. It's much easier to face somebody that's maybe sitting on their laurels and just hanging out and thinking like, I got this. Like I'm looking ahead. Whiteley's not doing that. I appreciate that's exactly. I'm going to get doxxed. The blind wave. What do they call it? The wave riders are going to show up at my house. I'll have like a broken up Y-wing mailed to me in a box.
Oh no!
I'll wake up with a Y-wing cockpit in my bed, like Godfather style.
Oh, man.
But no, I think he is going to come in fully loaded, and because it's not just his own desire to win. Like you see that he's on a great faction with Dimolanta, backing him up, and the help that they're getting from Bibiani and just the whole sort of team that they have there. But he's got a literal army behind him that is actively quizzing him. They're actively helping him prep. So it's not just his faction mate, which would be good enough under normal circumstances. He's got a lot of people invested, and I think it's a two-way street because he wants to perform for them as well. So he's got that desire, I think whatever the narrative is around me, that's just another big round of ammunition. Like how great would it be for him to come in and beat me, and move on in the tournament and face the next opponent. So I think all of those things are going to make it a really, really tough match. You're not going to see the sort of like brain farts that I think that's what I chalk him up as. It's not that he didn't know those answers. Just the mental slip. You don't add a D to slow and low because that's what you think the name is. It's just high stress environment, and that's what the division is right now. So I'm ready for a slugfest.
Woo.
We're excited.
Excited.
Tournaments are great, but Star Wars tournaments are even better after last year. How they've been
better for you.
That's pretty much every Star Wars match is a slugfest. So
I'm looking at the bracket, and it gives me the sweats just looking at the whole thing.
Real quick, while I'm looking at this comment, just because I know my answer to this, and I want to get Thomas and Molly's thing with this too. I personally think every Star Wars competitor is capable of getting a perfect round. Personally,
absolutely,
I think because as someone who lives with a Star Wars competitor, I really think any of you guys are capable of getting a perfect round. It's similar, I would say, to even the singles league. It really depends on what questions you're asked. Like you could get every Star Wars competitor has that one question in their brain going, please ask me this because I know no one's going to know it. And so please ask me this one question. And then
I'm up to like 10 of those.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need them to ask me those.
Everyone has like those dumb questions that they all just know. So to answer your question, Mr. Buckley, I think every Star Wars competitor realistically is capable of hitting perfect.
I'll tell you, my mindset going into every match is going to be, to include Whiteley, is going to be the expectation that the other person goes perfect. I am not the guy. I'm the guy that's going to walk in and be confident in myself and my abilities, but they're going to prove me wrong. And I'm going to expect the moment my opponent gets a question wrong, I'll be like, okay, I'm surprised that happened, but that's my mentality because everybody's got that level of skill to be able to do it. And you're absolutely right. Like I always call it just the dice roll. You don't know how the questions are going to fall and what is fired up in a person's brain at that moment. And in this division, it's one question, one multiple choice drop could make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really just the players against the questions. Every single question you get, that's how you have to kind of look at it. And it all depends on what that player may or may not have strengths in, weaknesses in, whatever. But I think anyone is capable to play perfect games.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more of them this season. That's not a knock on PJ or anything like that because they've been pitching sliders and screwballs all season long so far. It's just where competitors are right now. Factions I think have gelled more, certainly more than last season. Competitors know what they have to do, and we're still in this 12 movie pool. And until the division like shakes things up, whatever that looks like, it's gonna be like that. Folks know exactly what they have to do within those 12 movies. That's why I'm stoked to see this exhibition match in the FCL on May 4th with the Mandalorian tossed into the mix. I'm very, very curious.
Fun. That'll be very, very fun.
Very curious as to what they're going to ask. I'm really curious as to those Mando questions.
Yeah, because there's no Mandalorian like reference books or anything like that. You just gotta watch and pay attention, watch the subtitles. Yeah, love it.
Brian, I think you got one to wrap this up.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm assuming you're having a good time with this. Did you think you would be having this much fun joining this when you first started, having a whole faction of people to support you and throw trivia at and just everything that's come from it?
No, I had no idea that it would be as fun as it is. It's a good. I don't know that I would continue in it if it wasn't like that because it's just so stressful like you're getting into fighting shape. It's like being a boxer or a UFC fighter, and now with the tournaments and stuff, it's staying in fighting shape, which is equally as taxing. So if it wasn't fun, if you weren't surrounded by fun, nice people, and I say that even outside the faction, there have been folks, other competitors that have reached out to me repeatedly, both post-draft and then around the time of this match. It's just an interconnected community. So this idea that everybody's stovepiped off and in their own faction and knocking heads with each other, it's just not true. And that's what I really like about this. I also like that I was a little worried that I would just sour on the films, that if we were just my focus for Dragon Con is split 10,000 different ways with all the media that's out there. So it's, the movies are just a tiny slice of it. Here, I was like, am I just going to get tired of these 12 movies? And it's been the exact opposite. I will say after my match, it was relieving to like catch up on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But, I watch these movies with a new eye. I appreciate the movies in a new way, going back to even some like A New Hope that I've seen just, dozens and dozens of times over my life. You just see new stuff, and I didn't expect that. And that's been really, really fun. And you get to share that with other people, which is the best part of it.
Have you come across stuff where you're just like, how did I miss this before?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I said in my, at some point, I think I've said, like, there are gaps in my armor. I'm not going to sit here and say like, I know everything. Like Alex Molly would admit the same thing, but that's part of the fun. You watch it and you're like, have I watched this for like 20 years and I never managed to see that or hear that? Sometimes just having subtitles on does that. It'll be wonders.
Like subtitles is the best way to watch it.
Yeah, it's like reading the lyrics from a song that you've heard a bunch for the first time and you think what's being said, and you're like, I completely misheard that my entire life and I had no idea.
Yes.
So that's been good. It's been fun.
Good.
That's awesome.
Yay.
Well, Mr. Harper, cannot thank you enough for stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a lot of fun getting to see you finally debut in this league, and I know we'll definitely be seeing you around. And thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye, Thomas.
Well, while we wait for our next guest to arrive, Mr. Tom Chatalbash from the FCL, let's talk about the matches that we saw last week. We saw 2 FCL matches last week that we can kind of discuss real quick. And the first one was Knight and Harley, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What did everyone think about this one? Because this is like the real first taste of FCL characters in this league. I mean, these two were like really going after each other. They were like fully going after each other. It was a blast. You could tell Brad and Steph were having an absolute blast with it. It came down to a heartbreaker, right? Knight didn't know his 5-point question, and Harley ended up taking the W on this one. Jill, I'll start with you. What did you think about this match?
I loved it. When Knight said to Harley, "Let's see if you get invited to the cookout," I lost my mind. I thought that was the perfect line. I was like, oh dang. Like, I thought the character work in this match was so good. And they were both amazing. I know Knight didn't take the W in this, but he rocked it. He killed it. And I'm really excited to see more of him and Harley. I thought it was a super fun match. They were both great. They had that perfect combination of trivia knowledge as well as really great character work. And it was just so much fun to watch. And I was losing my mind with all the clapbacks they kept having with each other. I was absolutely dying. It was so fun.
Brian?
Yeah.
I loved Knight. His character was so good because it's just the right amount of character while still making sure you're playing the game. Mm-hmm. Like his character he knew what he had to do. His character made smart remarks here and there, and he made me laugh quite a bit. And they both did. But I remember when we first saw him a while back, I was like, oh, I'm going to like this guy. And he did not disappoint, in my opinion.
Molly?
So far, everything in the FCL has been amazing.
Yes. Let's just be honest.
FCL's been
It's
great.
You might see me in the chat every so often gloating about how I know about real movies.
Every single week, I tell Molly, I go, put her in, coach. Put her in,
Yeah.
coach.
It just makes me feel good about myself knowing that I have layers, as Alex would say. I have layers, but at the same time, the players, you can tell that they're having so much fun with this. Brad and everybody on the desk is having so much fun with everything. All the behind the scenes people making all this stuff work live and Twitch. My goodness, Dwayne, just like,
Yeah.
I want to like bow down to everyone working behind the scenes to make that stuff happen live, because Twitch is fickle and hard to work with at times, and they're killing it, and it's amazing.
I would have to agree. I do want to bring up this comment real quick. Mr. Robert Adams, an FCL competitor. Knight and Harley,
Robert.
what happens if you come in as a meanie and can't back it up? Both look easily beatable.
I have a question for Robert. How are you still feeling okay after that tackle incident? You all right?
Aw.
You hanging in there? Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm concerned. It was a
that was
great
brilliant.
bit, but I
That was
hope you
absolutely
and Chris are okay and not terribly injured.
Well, the next match we saw was the return of a former Schmoedown competitor in Devon Stewart taking on Kofi Outlaw. And this one was a weird one. This was a little weird just because Devon Stewart wasn't Devon Stewart. He was the Kingsman, a little bit of an a-hole who just didn't like to, go about the rules as per se, but he wanted to put on a show, definitely put on the show. But ultimately, Kofi took the victory on this one. And Brian, I will start with you because I know you have some feelings about this one.
Yeah, I was just I don't know his character or presence, anything before this. Yeah, that chair got messed up.
R.I.P. Sharon.
Yeah. So to me, this was a first time seeing the Kingsmen and all that. So for me, I was like, okay, like what parts of this is being a little more than we need to do versus not. To be completely honest, though, I had been wanting to see Kofi Outlaw since his name was announced in the Schmoedown draft. So to see that, I mean, you could have put a lot of people up against him, and I would have been paying more attention to him. And he showed up, and I think that he could be someone that could make a good, decent run in FCL, and
For sure.
did not disappoint in what I was expecting from him. And to be honest, I don't think he was really fazed by the Kingsman's antics. I think he was just there to answer some trivia and peace out. And I think those are the scariest types of people that just come in, do what they need to do, and they're out. And I'm very curious to see how he does in the future, because I think he could potentially be someone that gets picked up during the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after his first match is now there. There's always that possibility. Molly, what did you think of this one?
I loved the Kingsmen. People in the chat were like, this is a little over the top. And I was like, yeah. I mean, you come into this league or the FCL, and the people want you to be a larger than life character, and that's exactly what he did. So I thought it was hilarious. And yeah, like the knowledge is there for both players. I wouldn't be surprised at all if either of these people got picked up.
That's definitely a possibility. Jill?
I was literally going to say what Molly said. Like, I was talking to some friends of mine watching the match, and they were like, this is a lot. And I was like, I love it. I love it so much. I told the crew, I was like, if this isn't Nigel Thornberry right now, I don't know.
Oh my God, that's a perfect comparison.
It was Nigel Thornberry. I was just like, so I don't know if it's just my obsession with Tim Curry that really made me love this entire just like bantering in this really heavy, posh British accent. Like, I loved every second of it, and I love how Kofi.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I love how Kofi was just like not even remotely twitching or even thinking about this nonsense that was happening.
Yeah.
Like he I picture the famous Nigel Thornberry gif like like what like, but like it was literally Nigel Thornberry, and I need more of it. So I understand. I get why some people didn't dig it, but I loved it. So.
Two things. One, if Kofi ever does enter the Schmoedown, it'll be interesting because they called him the Outlaw. So that'll be quite interesting. Two, let's cut the blur out of everything, guys. Let's stop this whole blur thing that's happening with cameras. Because my goodness, it'd get in the way of some whiteboard action.
Oh yeah, it had to be like, this is what it says right here.
Yeah. But this week's matches are really, really fun. We have 3 returning MTS competitors who are now in the FCL, late to the party, and Andres Gallego, and also our next guest who is here, finally making his debut in movie trivia, and that is Mr. Tom Chatalbash.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello there.
How's it going, guys?
Welcome back.
It is great to be back.
Yeah. You must be very excited. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, I know your name didn't get picked up in MTS, but
Right.
the FCL came. It got put together real quick, and now you have your chance to play professional movie trivia. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm amped. I mean, I'm already liking the jabs that are being thrown my way. I'm like, oh, I'm so game. Someone's got to like download the DLC to get Tom Chatalbash to play late to the party. I was like, all right, if that's how we're doing it already, I'm game. Let's do it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair. Jill, do you have anything you wanted to ask?
Yeah. So because you are now in the FCL, not drafted to MPS, are you just ready to like prove like y'all made a mistake?
Oh yeah.
I am here to dominate.
Oh yeah. I'm so ready. I mean, I got my whiteboard. I'm
Yes.
I'm pressing DVDs. I'm ready for this, guys.
Anyone who has even just a whiteboard gets bonus points for me.
That's
Right?
a really good point. Some people don't have
Yes.
whiteboards.
I know.
And I was
you know
gonna
what?
say-
like, I've noticed that, like, some people or they're using their calendar that's kind of like a dry erase board. I'm like, that's bold.
Yeah. Well, some people have said that they prefer like writing on a piece of paper and then ripping it off and like throwing it away. Like it's a mind
Like,
thing.
isn't that like a waste of paper? Though?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure it is.
Saul, we're looking at you, Saul.
Saul.
That would drive me nuts. That's just too much.
Yeah,
I'd
like
probably-
there's gonna be like a pile of papers on my floor. Like I don't want
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy because I will literally to this day, if I'm doing a reaction and I'm seeing a veteran competitor who has been in the Schmoedown for
Right.
years, and I'm like,
Remember Roka last year? Remember Roka?
why are you using note cards? Why are you using note cards? It costs $5. It costs $5 to go to Pocket.
He wasn't even using note cards. He was using the old school yellow paper. Like that's how old school he was.
Like
He was
legal
using a
pad.
notepad.
Like a legal pad?
Yeah.
A legal
Oh wow.
pad.
Okay.
He was
Really
he was
going there.
waiting for Christian himself to send him a
Yeah.
movie trivia Schmoedown whiteboard and marker.
Is that like supposed to be in his like bag of merch, like an actual whiteboard, so we can upload
Yeah.
it? Like,
He's waiting on
actually
his
not-
swag bag.
That is
I want a
actually,
swag bag.
that's actually
That's
not
amazing.
a bad idea. They should just start
Right?
selling MTS whiteboards on the.
I'd buy an MTS whiteboard.
I claim it. Copyright. No.
yeah,
There you
look,
go.
we heard it here. You're the guy who
Yeah.
came up with the idea. No one's gonna deny it.
Perfect.
Brian, do you have anything you want to ask Tom?
Yeah. So obviously, like we said, don't need to keep beating the dead horse. You didn't go to MTS, but do you think that this has lit more of a fire in you, kind of getting to go through this, proving people why you should have been, and then going straight into it?
Oh
if
yeah,
and
I
when you
mean,
get picked
it's
up?
fun being the dark horse, like the person that like, oh, I don't know who this person is. I don't know if he's gonna be able to prove himself the way I think so, or like I like coming out of nowhere and like kind of showing maybe some managers like, hey, maybe this is someone you want to pick up down the line. Like I kind of like having no expectations going in because I feel like if people are expecting you to be like this gold standard, it can kind of mess with your head. So for me, it's kind of keeping my headset clear. So I'm more than happy.
Yeah, I mean, you do get to. I mean, that is a good point. You do get to kind of like pave your own path, because if you go up against someone strong, your first MTS, you might automatically get labeled as, oh, that person's not that good.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you get to build off of what your first performance is, whether it's win or lose. I mean, you're not in the real thing yet, so.
It's not like if I lose, I'm going to be like, I don't like movies. I'm terrible at this. I shouldn't even be doing this. Like, I'm not going to go cry in a corner. Like, I'm not really going to be like licking my wounds. Like, it's just fun to be a part of this thing. Like, I feel like that's the thing you got to realize at the end of the day. It's like, this is just something to have fun with. It's cool connecting with people who are into movies just as much as you are. It's refreshing for me. I don't have to annoy my friends with movie trivia knowledge. I can just spew it in front of like hundreds of people watching. So it's cathartic for me, you know?
Good point. Really? Yeah. Molly, you got anything?
Yeah. So, fellow YouTuber, I'm looking at your channel now, and I'm wondering, getting into the FCL and just like kind of overall movie trivia, has kind of studying movies changed how you want to make videos for your channel, or do you make like just a certain kind of video for your channel that isn't going to change?
I mean, I think it's like a mixture of both. Like, I definitely have a lot of reviewers who I watch online, some of who are like friends of mine, some who I just like to follow, and whose setups I really enjoy. Like, I love your setup. Like, it's so crisp. I like the blue in the background. I love Brian's setup with the Funkos in the back. I'm already like trying to figure out which ones are which because I love
hot mess. This is just
I need Mine's a hot mess. Mine is just a cluster of just a whole bunch of nonsense.
If you think that's a hot mess, look at my girlfriend's bedroom. Then we'll talk. Like it'll be a whole different story.
To be fair, I'm in my bedroom and I'm not going to turn my camera around right now.
That's fair. I see that it's like a very like square angle, so you're playing to your strengths.
And then Jake, your background's entirely new today. So.
Brand new.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm doing it. I transferred everything today, and so far it's working. I got to figure out some lighting stuff, but so far it's working out. So there's not a light above me, which is the big issue. There's a light over there. And so right now these are kind of throwing everything, like you can see all the shadows and everything. So I just got to figure that out, and I'll be good to go.
But see that, like, that's the fun part. Like, if you're watching my channel now, like, you're slowly seeing changes in my background because I've gotten like a whole bunch of new equipment. I've moved my room around. Like today, I just got some new like colored lights I want to put in my background to make it a little more visually interesting. Nice. Like, if you look at my videos from like 5-10 years ago and you look at them now, you're like, oh, okay, so this is like a whole different kind of thing. So like, I went from being in like a dimly lit cave to being like in an actual household. So I'm happy with my upgrade.
Jake, you did the opposite.
I did the opposite. I went from the house to the garage. I'm now in the cave. I am now in the cave. And it's beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. So.
Exactly. Just embrace it.
Yeah, exactly. I do want to ask, and back to the matches, you're facing someone who is considered the OG of the OGs. They're late to the party is the original reactors of the Schmoedown. They've been involved in this. Late to the party. Yeah, they've been involved in this for a very, very long time. Both Robert and Vanessa, but Vanessa, just because you're facing her, she's a big name. She is one of the names that a lot of people were looking forward to seeing in the FCL because they weren't picked up in the draft. One, is it a little intimidating going up against her just because of her history? And two, how are you preparing for it? The fact that it is all live, all of this stuff's going to be happening. Is that something different that you kind of have to get used to compared to, it being a recording?
I mean, I've done a lot of live stuff, so like I'm kind of used to kind of being on the spot. If anything, it makes you a little bit more focused. And of course, will coffee be involved? Sure. Will Red Bull be on the side for in case break in case of emergency? Perhaps. But like I think I'm gonna be all right, and I'm actually excited that I'm like versing someone who's got a little bit of notoriety going in, because like either it won't go that well and it'll humble me a little bit and I'm getting a nice little schooling, or maybe I do really well and I prove myself and I come to be a name myself. But either way, if I win, the way I see it, in terms of recognizing my talent and my movie knowledge, it seems like maybe she might be late to the party. So
I'm flipping that. I'm sending that to Brad.
No, you're sending that to Dwayne now.
Dwayne. I'll send it to Dwayne. I'll make sure Dwayne.
There you go.
That's good.
Just get it to the right people. That's all.
I like it.
I like you.
Thank you.
You're classy. I like it.
Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is like me at a 6. So
Well, I mean, they bring it too. So you're saying that Tuesday's matches should be pretty on fire, if you will.
yeah, it should be a fiery matchup. Hey, if she's sassy, that's going to be great. We'll play off of one another pretty well. So that's even more exciting.
I love it.
Yes.
I can't wait. Crew, any other questions for Tom?
Do we want to ask him our POV question?
Oh, there you go. We can do that. Yes.
Have we asked her about POV?
I don't know if we asked the last time you were on the show. You were part of the free agency special or the rookie special, excuse me. Did we ask you what your favorite movie snack and favorite candy were?
I think you did. I think mine. Yeah. I think I said something along the lines of like my favorite drink was like an icy, and then my favorite like movie snack was like either like popcorn or like this is like an OG candy, like the watermelon Sour Patch Kids. I don't know if you remember that.
Okay, I do.
Like,
I do.
Always got them, I guess.
Oh my god! I knew I liked you for some reason, you know.
Sour Patch. Sour Patch.
They're the best.
So
Amazing,
if you go to the movie theater, the popcorn's the go-to then.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's like a big blockbuster movie, I like a nice, like medium popcorn, a nice icy, just to kind of get me into the experience. But I only save it for like the big blockbuster movies. Like I don't see some independent film and I'm like, give me an icy and a large popcorn. Like that's not what I'm doing here.
That's fair. That's a really good point.
Okay, so now I'm curious between Fallout and John Wick 3, which one did you like better?
Great posters.
That's a tough question. That's a tough question. Oh my God. Honestly, I think I give the slight edge to John Wick just for sheer style and just sheer, like, it just doesn't stop. Like Fallout has moments to breathe. Like John Wick, it's just you're on the run constantly. He can't even like breathe. Like it's just like fight to fight to fight to fight to the point where once the credits roll, you're just like, all right, I need to sit down. I'm exhausted. Like Fallout, there's actually like character development, and you're just like, all right, well, now I care about these characters. I have time to breathe, check my watch. Wick, it's just like knife fight, gun fight, bat fight, motorcycle fight. Like it's just like, okay.
Anything's a weapon in those movies.
But it's like asking me to pick between my favorite kids. It's tough, but there's a winner.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Oh dear.
Wow. That is the perfect way to end this.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, before it gets worse, that's a wise move on your part.
Tom, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for reaching out as well.
No problem. Thanks for having me again, guys.
Yeah,
thank you for giving me thank you for giving me redemption for my sound quality, dear Lord.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
We were like, oh no, what do we do?
Because I watched the recording afterwards. Yeah, I watched the recording afterwards. I listened to about 10 seconds, and my head was just on the desk. I was like, first impression, you have failed this city. Like, oh my God.
Arrow reference. Arrow.
There you go. Someone got it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank you again for stopping by, and good luck on Tuesday.
Guys. Thank you. I appreciate that.
After speaking with you, we're very excited to see what you bring to the table up against someone like Vanessa as well. Everyone, if you have not watched the FCL, get to it and start watching. Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific. Go check it out. Tom will be debuting on Tuesday, and we're excited to see what you got, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me again, guys. Pleasure talking to you as always. All right.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
We'll chat with you soon.
See ya.
Thanks, Tom.
That was awesome. He's great.
Chris Adams, you nailed it right on the head.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
For sure.
I could see that.
Good
Nailed
point.
it. Because I was sitting here going, where would he be good? And that's kind of how I am with all the FCL people. Like when I see and finally get to like know them, I just kind of immediately go, where can I see them? And that you nailed it pretty much.
Robert. Robert.
You, sir, are on a sass streak right now.
He's on the sass train.
Sassy people today.
Chris must have knocked the sass into him, not at him, but into him. Yeah, from Saturday's streams or Friday's.
If you guys didn't watch Show Me Naughty,
I should have uploaded. Oh wait, hold on a second. I might be able to do this.
I've already watched it twice.
Oh my
Just
God.
saying.
It's so good. I want to watch it again.
Has Alex watched it yet?
No.
There's a reason to watch it again.
Alex needs to watch it. I don't think I've ever in my life laughed out loud while I'm like by myself, like watching something alone. I was laughing out loud as to what was happening.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, on
that was
the
cool.
Pachucan network,
Yeah.
go and go check out Show Me Naughty. They decided because of the absolute love they got in the chat, they are doing all future episodes live.
Thank God.
So,
Thank God.
They will be.
Sean's
doing all
gonna run in and be like, "Stop telling them our secrets."
It's not a secret. I don't think they didn't. They're fine. People are gonna be happy to know that.
Oh,
it is
absolutely.
live. So
Yeah.
go watch Show Me Naughty on the Pachucan.
Yeah. So good.
I was trying to upload the GIF, but it won't upload. So you just have to go find it. Go follow PJ on Twitter, and you can find the GIF. Everybody.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, let's get to some free for all talk, and we only have about 15 minutes to do so. We're gonna keep it short and sweet. I want to get your guys' opinion on, because look, we haven't had the free for all in 2 years. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it last year because of COVID. Just it was the quickest pay-per-view to cancel because of COVID, and we just unfortunately weren't able to do it. I want to get you guys' opinions on who you think might be there at the final round. And I know there's a lot of people.
Oh God.
There's a lot of people to choose
You're not
from.
gonna build up to it first.
No, we're gonna go right
I
into
want to go
it.
straight into it. I want to go straight into it.
Are we talking who we think, like, number wise?
No, just one person you think could last until the very end. Not the whole final round, but I want one person that comes to mind immediately that you're thinking, of course, like that person has a really good shot of coming to the very last.
Jill, you
question.
and I have the same one.
Go ahead, Jill.
Go ahead, Jill.
I mean, if your first thought when you think of free for all and last table, and you don't think of William Bibiani,
Yep.
like I think that's on everyone's like whatever you want to call it, like their Vegas spreadsheet of if they're putting money down for, like, he's just free for all legend. If you don't think Bibiani is going to be in that final table,
yeah. I mean, I
go back
immediately
and watch past free for all so you can educate yourself. Because Bibiani he is a, for lack of better terms, he is a beast when it comes to free for all.
I just hope that man got like a stool to sit on, maybe.
Never.
So that way he can just his poor knees.
How dare you? How dare you think Bibiani would sit down? How dare you?
It would be.
I didn't say sit. Prop against.
Nope.
Maybe.
Nope. He has his tiger. That's all he needs.
It would be very interesting, and I know that last year he was given the number, or 2 years ago he was given the number one slot, and he was there literally the entire time. Yep. That means everyone should be a little bit nervous because the chances of him getting the number one slot again are very slim, and that gives him a better shot of through the free for all, being that he's not going to answer so many questions. But yeah, Jill, you're right. He's the most consistent when it comes to. Yep. And I'm not saying the free for all is this, but they're not, for the most part, they're not third round questions. They're not. They teeter between first and second round. There's a couple in there that could throw someone for a loop for sure.
There's a couple thrown in there that could easily be a 2-point or a 3-point round three.
Definitely, but for the most part, it kind of stays within this boundary line, which is why you see people last so long. Like, for example, Brendan Meyer lasted so many rounds his first time. Bibbs lasted the entire time.
The free for all is the reason why Brendan Meyer got pushed the way he did that season, is because he kicked butt in that free for all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is the true Olympic test of movie trivia and your base knowledge, what you know. I mean, singles, it's any movie that's ever been released in a theater. Yeah. So good luck. And then, I mean, you could find yourself being a new competitor, and then, oh, look, I have Adam Collins, Dan Murrell, and William Bibiani to my left.
Yeah.
Crap. So, I mean, it's literally, it's literally just an absolute shot in the dark. And I love it. I can't wait.
Molly, did you have anybody that wasn't Bibbs or any like the big name? Did anybody come to mind?
Well, first of all, I'm ashamed of all of you for not thinking of me being in this.
We weren't done. We were done.
That's why I said,
not done yet.
Why are we doing it this way? Go after him.
And how long
I
I
do-
may or may not last in a free-for-all.
Could you imagine after her keeping that Laura Kelly Dimalanta thing secret from us?
100% she lies.
If she's in
100%.
free for all and didn't
100%.
say a dang word about it,
That would be hilarious. Can you imagine if those were the first polls?
oh
Oh
my
my
god,
People would never get to play. Oh, it would be
we
so
would be
good.
in overtime for 6 days.
Yeah, it'd
So-
be like one of those SpongeBob's 3 years later. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, other than the greats that we all know and love, that we've seen play before in the free-for-alls, I'm the most excited, I think, to see some of the rookies that get put into this. If there are any rookies, there has to be some rookies in there.
You'd think there'd be a handful.
it's 4
Yeah.
from each team, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
Okay.
So the
we can
Finstock
go-
Exchange, by default, the Finstock Exchange is putting a rookie in
Yeah.
free for all.
At least
we
one.
can- yeah.
Perfect example too, because their rookies have been doing so well, and
Yes,
they're so excited to talk about their TKOs and their dossiers and whatnot. So I would love to see
Do-si-do.
the Dosidos.
Oh, five.
Oh,
I'm hearing five.
Five
Five.
from each team.
5.
Wow.
5 from each team. 4. We're
Okay,
getting 5 and
5.
4.
It's 5.
Five.
Can I
Five
get
from
a
each
That-
team.
that's from,
four,
that's from
four.
2
Can I get a 5?
competitors. So
Okay,
that's
so
from,
we're getting 5 from
it's
each round.
5.
Okay, so we're getting at least we're for sure getting 2
Wow.
rookies. Because even if everyone else does not rookies, we got 2 from the
that,
Finstock Exchange.
duh. Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you, Leo. Thank you for stating
I
the
would
obvious.
like to
met
clarify.
here.
I'd like to clarify with the chat that none of us here are mathematicians.
You're
Two of us
assuming
are
that I know how
degreed
many
in
factions
PE.
there are.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
All right, let's quickly run through these factions and throw some names out that we think could either show up for sures and the locks, and then of course maybe some surprises. We'll start with how I listed have here. Let's go with corruption first. Obviously, you would think,
Right.
right?
Just fire round. Say each person say 4.
5. Well, 5.
5. Jesus, God.
Um,
My math.
Yeah, let's.
I would say the first 5 on that list.
I would say that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Let's throw Sean Sullivan.
You know
in there.
what?
I'm gonna disagree.
I might disagree as well. Actually,
I'm gonna go
go ahead. Yeah.
Adam, Jacob, Marisol. I kind of want to. I don't know why James White is pulling at me, and maybe Mike. I don't know.
I would go Adam Collins, Chance, Marisol, Jacob London, and James White. Those are my 5.
Okay,
Not Kalinowski.
No, I don't think Kalinowski's going to do it.
That's fair. That's fair.
I
He
think
should be
I'm-
busy studying.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Kalinowski in it, and I think he would do great. But I think he might have. I think his head is obviously in IG right now, studying mode.
Okay, Jill.
I think I'm gonna.
It's fire round, lady. Fire.
I'm
You're
sorry. I
fire.
know. I'm looking, and there's people that I would love to see. But I think I agree. I think it's going to be the first 5. I think it's going to be Adam, Mike, Chance,
Very
Marisol,
fair.
and
Very
I think.
fair.
Yeah.
Molly, you're on that train too.
Yeah, I just as soon as I looked at this list of people, I was just like, it makes sense to put the first 5 of those in.
It definitely makes the most sense. They're
I would
the
love
heavy
to-
hitters.
Yeah, I would love to see James and Blunden and some of those others in there.
I'd love
But
to see Claudia.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Clee.
We haven't seen Claudia at all this year. We've seen Klee with the Black Cinema exhibition match.
I
we
will
gotta
say
figure out these
this. I will
ones.
say this. While I said how I think those first 5 will be the ones in it, for anyone who goes, I'm not mad. Anyone who shows up from corruption, I'm not upset about it because I absolutely adore everyone in corruption. So heck, throw Sean Sullivan in there. Let's see what his regular movie trivia is like. I don't know, but I'm sticking with the first 5.
That's fair. All right, let's
happy.
go ahead and go to swag here. This one will obviously be a little bit of a different story. Who wants to go first on this one, if you know right away? This one's a little tough.
ooh, I would love to see Laura Kelly in a free for all. Just
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
not calling her out or anything. I'll go first. I'm gonna say Oyama, Oyama, Zipper, Vinny, Jen. And I'll go back up to Lon.
All right.
All right. I will go Oyama, Lon, Zipper, Haley, and Jen.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take out Jen and put Vinny in there. I think we'll say Haley Fouch.
All right.
Okay.
Those are mine.
I'm gonna go. Those are mine. I'm gonna go Oyama, Lon, Eric, Vinny, and John Harris.
John Harris he's a sleeper pick for sure.
Yeah.
Sleeper pick for sure.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna do Paul, Lon, Zipper, Vinny, and Jen.
See, and it's funny. Frank Moran is such a sleeper pick too because we don't see him. This might be like the chance to see him the one time or something.
Yeah.
The one chance for Winston to kind of throw him in there and see how he does in a free for all where he can just answer questions without having to deal with the idea of Schmoedown. That's kind of the key. Like maybe the players who don't have the best track record of like JTEs and like playing the game best, free for all is your best chance to play because it's just answering questions.
Look what it did. Like I said, look what it did for Brendan Meyer. Like
Exactly.
his first match was not a good showing, and then he got to free for all and kicked absolute butt, and then got on a team with William Bibiani. Like the free for all can make or break people. You know.
There you go.
So,
Frank Moran lasted 8 rounds in the second one.
Yeah.
you know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Next one is the Den with Kate Mulligan here.
gosh, okay.
This is a heavy hitter squad here.
Yeah,
You-
this one's
there's
hard.
really a lot of different ways you can go with this one for sure. Who would like to go first?
No, this one's rough.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I will go Paul, Goddard, Riley, Silvestrini.
I hope we see Rachel. God,
I
I hope
hope
we see
so
Rachel.
too. I'm gonna be mad if we don't see Rachel.
She's such
And,
she's perfect for this event.
And I'll go. Oh my god. This is so hard because Peggy or Jess or
Jader.
I think I'm gonna go Jader. But oh my god, I think the Den is one of the hardest because like Peggy could be in there,
Yeah.
Jess could be in there, Del Rio could be in there, Alonzo could be in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Preston, Goddard, Duralde, Silvestrini, and my sleeper pick. I'm gonna go Saul.
Really?
Really?
I'm gonna go Saul.
I would love Saul in a free.
I think Saul might show up, and it sucks because I'm keeping Peggy out of it, but I think Saul might show up.
I would love Saul in a free for all.
I'm gonna go Paul, Goddard, Rachel, Jader, and Peggy with no mark.
Yeah, I don't think Riley's gonna be in it.
That's fair.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's tough. I mean, he might thrive in a free for all for sure. He's competing in a lot of them, but
Snake Jazz free for Saul. That's good.
And I think Del Rio would be really great.
there are so many choices on this team. So many choices.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I agree. I would love to see Rachel in this. So Rachel, Paul Preston, Ben Goddard. I think Alfonso Duralde is a good guess, and Peggy.
Peggy.
I think those are my 5.
See, I have a hard time thinking that both Goddard and Preston might be in there. I think it might be just one of them, and a rookie will replace one of them.
Really?
Because I would love to see Jess or Peggy in there, or both.
I
Either
could
way.
definitely see the Den doing
Kylo.
something like that, where it would be like, "Hi, Kylo," where it would be like, "I will," like a Paul or a Goddard being like, "I will give my place to a rookie," and then so Kate can like really showcase, her rookies. I can definitely see her doing that. And can we all and Peggy
And Peggy.
and Peggy? Yes, Hamilton crew.
I didn't do that on purpose, but I'm glad that's how it turned out.
Yes, Hamilton.
All right, next one. The Dungeon. Obviously, we're taking one off the table with Molly. She's in, confirmed here on POV.
For
She's
sure.
one of the 5. But again, this
confirmed.
team,
Hashtag scoops. Molly is a free-for-all.
this team is also interesting as well, right? You have Dan Murrell, Ben Bateman, obviously, but people like a Robert Parker or a Mara Konopik, obviously an Adam Witt competed in teams. A Video Drew, a Whitney Seibold. What if they got Chris Jericho to pop up? I mean, there's a lot of options for this team.
I would like to go first.
Okay.
Go for it, Molly.
Because I already know who's in it. It's me, Adam Witt, John Hoey, Mark Knoppick, and Chris Jericho, because he's like the best of the best of us. So
Okay.
Those dungeon cookouts, with Chris Jericho, those dinner parties.
our
those famous
Friday
Chris
night dinners, I'm telling you, they get
Dungeon
wild.
dinner parties. All
So-
right.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. So I will pick, let's see, Dan Murrell, Ben Bateman, Molly Damon, Video Drew.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. You know what? I'm going for it. I'm gonna say Chris Jericho is in the free for all.
Yeah, I think
going
there's a
for it.
possibility that actually happens.
I'm going
I
for
really
it.
do.
Especially for like the storyline. It's Kaiser. Kaiser just shows up in different wigs.
Yeah.
I would not at all be surprised if Chris Jericho's.
I definitely think there's a possibility we see Jericho. I'm not going to include him on my list, but I think there's a high possibility we see him. This is tough because there's a lot of people I want to see, but I don't know if they'll show up. So I'm going to go Bateman and Murrell. And then I'm going to go Whitney Seibold. I will go Adam Witt. And I will go Chris Van Fleet. I think there's a chance we see him because I don't know whenever else we'll see him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Two things. One, just realized Flickinger has a random hand around his neck. That's not the right
Oh my
way.
God, I just noticed that.
Yeah, I would like to add this comment is great.
I didn't even see that. I was just looking at it. And the fact that Dan and Merle both are wearing sunglasses and leaning the opposite way.
Absolutely.
They planned that. They totally planned that. Let's be real.
Probably.
That was planned.
Snake Jazz, that's funny because I didn't see your comment and just randomly was
There's
like,
also, I will say that Ryan also did it right afterwards.
Yeah.
So we got to
because I was just staring at these people and I was like, wait a minute, he's getting choked out by a random hand. I'm gonna go with Dan, Ben, Video Drew, Whitney, and Mr. Adam Witt.
Yeah, I hope Adam Witt is a entertainer, so I hope we see him.
Exactly.
And Robert, I know Robert's going to be in the chat and say, correction, it is fan favorite Adam Witt, and I will never disagree because
fan favorite Adam Witt.
The more Adam Witt in my life, the better we all
Oh, Jill,
are.
well, you weren't on our reaction on Friday or Wednesday. That was coined by Molly.
Fan favorite Adam Witt?
Yeah, she coined that on Wednesday's reaction.
Molly's like,
well, I don't know. That may have been around for a while.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Adam coined
Okay,
it
maybe the
himself.
hashtag. Maybe you coined the hashtag. Maybe
Coin the hashtag.
there you go. All right, next one is the exchange. This one could be interesting.
Oh, God.
This
This one could be very interesting because there's a lot of names obviously on here. Rookies are heavy, but veterans, right, with Roka Bateman and Roka Barbarian and JTE. But there's a whole list of rookies that could obviously show up that could make some noise.
This one is
Radis
literally
has
just
his weird bottle of
hot sauce.
hot sauce.
His weird red skull.
This is literally the picture you put up on the dartboard and wherever the dart lands is who's in
Literally.
it.
Literally.
That's exactly what this is. I'm gonna go Roka, King, Griffin.
Griffey noobs.
Yeah,
It's Griffey names, yeah.
and
Say it right,
and
Brian.
Ty. And Ty.
Was that 5?
I'm gonna. 5. And I think I've only been picking 4. And I see Barbarians wheeling and dealing his way into this.
Yeah, I think you got to go the first 3, the veterans. I think Roka, Barbarian, and JT has always been great at the free for alls.
Yeah.
I think you go
especially
those
when he
3.
comes in at the last spot.
Yeah, I think those 3 for sure, which leaves up a lot of options, obviously, with the remaining. I'm interested to see if we see Kim Taylor Foster, seeing that we haven't seen her yet.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like her debut, but I'm not going to include her on the list. I think Mark Haas shows up, and I think Griffey Noom is the 5th spot as well. I don't think we see Rager. I don't think we see King. I don't think we see Tyrant. I don't think we see Brother Lomas. I think we see Griffey Nooms and
Wait,
Mark
Jake.
Haas.
I thought Mark Haas was Star Wars.
No, I think
He's
everyone.
4, I
I
think.
think everyone's been saying he's a 4 division player.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the 4 division player.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody's been saying. And
Mr. The King, if you're still in the chat, correct?
Yeah, I think Mark Haas might show up. I think it might be his debut, his party.
Huh. Interesting.
I'm gonna go Roka Barbarian.
Okay, yeah, he's the 4 division guy.
Oh, okay.
I like how he even refers to him as he's the 4 division guy.
Because that's what he is, the 4 division guy.
Actually, I'm gonna go Roka Barbarian, Griffey Nooms. That's 3. And then I'm gonna say Kim and Taylor.
Okay.
Ooh, that'd
No
be interesting.
JTE.
That'd
Yeah,
be interesting.
no.
I didn't pick JT either.
Huh.
All right, Jill, who you
Okay.
got?
Well, I'm going to pick the first 3. So I'm going to go Roka, Barbarian, JTE. And then I'm going to go the King Khan. And then I feel like you got to add some character work up in the free-for-all. So which
Well,
of
which
these...
one?
If you say Brother Lomas, I swear.
I was going to say... I think I'm going to go... I'll go Ty Lieberman. Yeah.
I really hope Ty is in this.
I hope so too, because I'm kind of obsessed with Ty.
This is also a really good point by Buckley. He's obviously been the biggest supporter of these rookies. There is a chance where he just gives them a spot to kind of put the spotlight on.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
One of those 3, I truly feel will not be in this. One of those main 3.
Yeah.
I feel like JT's a lot because we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
But Barbarian.
See, now I don't.
Sure. Yeah, I think he's in it.
Because his match is coming up so soon.
We'll see. Next one here, the Quirky Mercs for Coy John Drew.
Oh boy.
This one's interesting.
Oh boy.
A lot of possibilities. We haven't seen a number of people. Obviously, there's the Kevin Smith factor. We have Shazam. We haven't seen Greg Alba yet this year. He's always great. Sabrina Ramirez. I mean, what are the options here, guys?
Correct. Beth May is which? IG?
She's singles. No,
she's singles.
Okay.
Yeah, she's singles.
I'm gonna go Bibbs and the Kid.
That sounds like a sitcom.
Yeah.
Bibbs and the Kid.
So perfect.
Okay.
So
It basically is.
I got mine. Bibbs and the Kid, Perry, Beth, and Sabrina.
That's solid.
That's a good 5. I will go Shazam. So Bibbs and the Kid.
Mm-hmm.
I will go Perry, Beth May. No, excuse me. I will go Shazam, Beth May, Greg Alba, and Sabrina. We're gonna see Greg. We gotta see Greg. Have to.
Okay.
Have to.
Have to. Just because of his entrances alone in the free for all. I know it's digital,
That's
but
fair. His free for all entrances are legendary.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go Bibbs and the Kid as well. I'll say Jessie Swift, Beth May, and Sabrina.
I like it.
Okay.
And I will say William Brendan. I will also say Jessie Swift. And I'll do Sabrina and Greg Alba.
But John Humphrey's picture is just so enticing.
It's very.
I love them. The Real Rejects are the best.
Does anybody notice that Jesse has a cat in his lap too?
Yeah, that's Goose.
There you go.
Aww.
All right, next up is Roxy Stryer and the Stars.
Oh boy.
This is a fun one. This could be a fun one.
Oh wow, there's so many. Okay.
There's so many options, right? Look, we've talked about it here plenty of times, but Zach can be considered a 4-way, really, with the amount of knowledge he has.
That's true.
He could show up in this. Brandon Hanna's probably going to find his way into this somehow. I don't know how, but he will. We haven't seen Felix yet, who's a rookie who was taken early. We're going to see Jacoby very soon. I mean, who knows? Maybe Alex Damon finds his way into this. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Look at
He's
that
got
tough
layers.
guy. Molly couldn't even say that with the
I know.
He's got
Did you hear that
layers.
question mark? He's got layers.
He does. He does look like he's trying to be a tough guy in that picture, and it's
Uh-huh.
it's just not working.
Easiest one. Wow.
Really?
I think this is one of the
Wow.
harder
I don't
ones.
think it's the easiest one. I don't.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go Snyder and Draco, Hannah, Janine, and Jacoby.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, Molly.
I'm gonna go Snyder and Draco. Burkett, just because that's my hope is that he's in the free for all.
That would be fun, and
Yeah, he'd be so fun to watch.
Jacoby and Brandon Hannah.
Oh man, this is tough. I am gonna go. Oh man, I think I'm gonna do Odd Couple. Obviously, Janine for sure. She got to have her in there.
Oh yeah, Janine. Dang it.
And then
this one's hard.
Molly, I think you said Brandon twice, by the way.
Wait, did I?
Yeah.
oh, then just put Janine in there for Brandon.
Okay, Janine. Then yes.
So I will go Odd Couple, Janine, Felix, and Brandon Hannah is gonna find his way in. He's gonna find his way in.
I didn't pick
Okay.
yet.
Oh,
Put that
sorry,
back.
sorry, Bobby.
Put it back. Yeah, I'm gonna do Odd Couple, and like we've been saying, Brandon Hannah because he's gonna find his way in there. Janine. And then I'll do Jacoby, but I would not be surprised if Felix is in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Alex has time for a free for all? Really?
That's true. That's
Valid.
true.
They
Valid.
expect a lot from that poor man.
All right, final one here with the suspects. A
This
number of
one's really
rookies,
hard.
but this one, for me, this actually seems quite easy personally.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, it does. I think we're going to see the big three up top, and I think we'll see Frankie Alvarez and Paige for Betty.
Oh,
Hmm.
I might agree with you.
Those five. I think we'll see those five.
I
No
think-
sassy Stacey Howard?
No, I don't think. As much as I want to see Stacey, I don't think she'll be in it. I think Paige is going to take her spot.
I think those are my 5 too. Drew, Liz, Ethan, Frankie, and Paige. I think that's my 5 as well.
I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense to I mean, those are basically his singles players minus a couple.
Ooh, hyping it up, huh?
See, that's what I'm
Hyping
thinking
it up.
too.
I'm
That's what I'm
Interesting.
thinking. That's yeah.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I would not be upset, Amaru, if you're in there. I would not at all be upset.
Yeah,
I'd be
seriously.
stoked.
A lot of
Yeah,
M's.
I'll say this. I'll just say the same as Jake.
Okay.
I'll go the same.
Okay.
I think I might also be the same.
So we're all picking the same 5.
Well, Jill hasn't picked. Did she?
I picked. No, I said the exact same thing.
Yeah,
as
she said the same as
Oh.
me.
Jake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
this
realized Ethan's shirt says "I'm Ethan."
Aw.
I do appreciate the Doug Bensons that people are throwing in, though. Seeing
Molly
Doug
would be very
Benson-
excited.
Well, the free for all doesn't count for points, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
The winner gets 3 points.
Oh,
And
never
then-
mind. Doug Benson
No,
is
the
definitely
winner
in
gets
this.
the winner gets a
I think they changed it, Jill.
It's a
I don't-
the winner,
title
the winner
shot
gets a title
and
shot, and the MVP gets points.
Oh, the MVP gets the points.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
MVP
I wasn't-
gets points, the winner gets a title shot of
Okay.
their choosing.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I knew in past non-digital and without factions that the winner got the title shot, but I didn't know if that was still the same. But
Winner gets
thank
a title
you.
shot, yeah. As everyone in the chat.
Mr. King, you seem to know a lot about the free-for-all. Are you tipping cards right now?
Sir,
or he
excuse
or
me.
he pays attention. I'm like,
Sir.
yeah.
Amaru, are you tipping cards?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Are you in the free for all? Excuse me, sir.
Well, then I'm hoping that Doug Benson is in fact in it because I hope he gets MVP so I can get some fantasy points.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
All of us are just rooting for Molly just to be out of the negative fantasy points.
yeah. We still have. I need to pull it up for who's our matches of this week.
Well, we're not going to preview our matches today. We're going to preview them on the
Why?
faction, so we don't have to bring them up today. We're going to preview them on our reactions this week because we have 3 reactions coming up this week for each of the matches. We will cover our preview and predictions then.
Yeah, if you want to see our predictions for these matches this week.
I have to look up. I don't even know who's playing this week.
I don't either.
Tim, it just
Ooh, this is going to be a good week.
Whoever
Sorry.
wins gets points. That's just how it works. The people in the Schmoedown everything point wise that works in the regular Schmoedown transfers over to fantasy. That counts for free for all, title, everything. It's just the same exact point system in fantasy. It's an easy, and thank you to Jamar Jones who does it all. It's brilliant.
Thank you,
Shout out to
Jamar.
him. If you guys don't do it this year, look into it next year. It's awesome. And I know he's been tweaking things and fixing things, but it's really the first year he's been doing it, and it'll for sure add more stuff in the future, which is going to be a lot of fun. But for now,
Wait, can we just say how this week's matches? They're crazy good.
yep, fire him off, Brian. Fire him off.
Okay, so I don't know the order. Well, I'm assuming the lawn one is the JT.
So
one, but,
the lawn
okay.
one is now the JT one. Yes.
Okay, so we
Jason
have
Goddard.
So we start with Jessica and Beth May,
Yep.
Ooh.
Jacoby versus Jacob Blunden.
Yep.
Then we go
I
Goddard
need my Ruxpin
JTE.
sweatshirt ready.
Ooh.
Then Goddard JTE. Then free for all.
Free for all's on
Oh.
Saturday at 12.
Woo!
Saturday at 12.
Holy schmoly!
Ooh, I need to get snacks for Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy week. It's going to be. We have 2 rookie matches to start the week off, and then we have an awesome vet match between Goddard and JT. Going to be a lot of fun. We're going to make our predictions on our reactions, guys. We'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Check us out. Join us. We have a lot of fun doing those. Also, we will have someone joining us for reactions going forward. I'm not going to reveal anybody just yet, but there will be someone who's popping in here and then on reactions, and it is someone that you're definitely going to want to see do reactions with us. It's a lot of fun. That person will be with us on Wednesday, so look out for that one. But for now, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'll let the crew fire around real quick where everybody can find them online. Molly, I'll start with you.
At Molly Damon, most places, and over at Star Wars Explained, talking about Star Wars things. We're ramping up to May the 4th. We've got a bunch of fun stuff planned for that week. Yeah, stay tuned.
And on Twitch.
And on Twitch.
We want Molly
Ryan?
on there.
Real quick, Eric, it is not one or both of this in the next, and it's neither Sean as well.
I was gonna say I can either confirm nor deny.
And it's not Alex. Who,
It's not
Alex is too
Alex.
busy.
He's too busy.
Brian?
I am at B of Alcino on Twitter and Apocalypse Movies on Tuesday. What are we talking about on Tuesday, Jake?
We are doing our watch
Movies.
along.
Movie
Has yet to been revealed. The poll is still going, but we will be doing
Mine's-
watch along on Tuesday.
Mine's gonna win.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna win.
Yeah. Just so you know,
Kong.
his movie was Godzilla versus Kong. Everybody.
Ooh,
So,
hashtag
more
Team
than
Godzilla.
more than likely that's what we'll be watching. But who knows? Still up for grabs. Still up for
I
grabs.
need to be like you and get like my laser light show set up for.
Yeah, my TV. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jill, what about you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram, Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's. You can catch me tweeting
You're
whatever
damn right.
nonsense comes into my head at any point in time of any hour of the day.
Mm-hmm.
At Qui-Gon Jake for myself,
mhm.
all over social media. 2 N's because someone else took it before I did. You can find us at
Who took
Schmoedown
it before you?
Liam Easton took it before I did. You can find us at Schmoedown POV on Twitter, everybody. Doing all kinds of fun stuff, interacting with competitors and managers, stuff like that. We are here multiple times a week. And if you're interested, join our Patreon. Our watch along is coming up here in about just over a week.
I think we picked it.
I don't know if it's official, but it might be. It might be. I think we might do a poll still, but we're still
I
undecided.
don't even remember what.
I do. I'll remind you when we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Also, thank you to all our guests.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you to all of our guests. And just for a plug for the Patreon guys, we're actually reacting to Cooper Barnes and David Campbell's FCL match this week. We're going to be doing FCL reactions on the Patreon once a month, so you can check it out there. Just for $1 a month, guys, you can join us on our FCL reactions. $2 a month, you can join us on a watch along. Check it out. A lot of fun. It's a great time. Our Discord is awesome. And thank you to all of our patrons as always. But for now, we are POV. Thank you to all of our guests, Mr. The King Khan himself, Thomas Harper and Tom Chatalbash. Good luck, Tom. Good luck on Tuesday. And for all of you watching, thank you so much for this whole time. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys later this week.
Bye.